Series is back on track at Sydney's Eastern Creek Raceway for round 2 of the 2008 Championship. It was a bumping and bruising affair for the season opener on the streets of Adelaide, but a full field of Holden and Ford runners is back this weekend. Russell Ingall joins me for what should be a big weekend of racing with a lot of changes in between rounds. Eastern Creek Raceway, 12 corners, and the Utes know how to hang it out.
Look, love the Ute races. I don't think I've ever seen a race that a Ute comes back without some panel damage. And look out for turns like turn 9. There'll be a few firing down the inside, and turn 12.
Now, speaking of panels, Adelaide's first round, this was massive. Craig Dontis in the Roaring Lion Ford, a multi-car collision in the final race of the weekend at the Clipsal 500 for this category. Many cars involved. Craig Dontis, Matt Kingsley, Jack Elsgood, Colin Corkery. There was plenty of damage. This was what happened from in-car with Matt Kingsley.
Unbelievable damage. We don't like to see those sort of accidents, and the good thing about it is Matt Kingsley will be okay. That's great news.
That was the in-car with Jack Elsgood, and he's bounced back well. He's going to start from pole position.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. We didn't expect to be where we were at. Obviously, pretty much a brand new car. We ironed out a lot of problems in the first 2 practice sessions, but for qualifying, yeah, everything came together and managed to come up with the pole. So, yeah, reasonably happy.
Let's take a look at the way that they'll line up. Jack Elsgood on pole with Ryle Harris. A lot of work being done since Adelaide and not much time to do it.
Absolutely. It's a pretty quick turnaround, and the guys have done a real good job to get these rigs back on the road.
Now, Craig Dontis back on track in his teammate Justin Van Twest's car. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Matt Lockwood, the Kiwi in the second High-Tech Oils Commodore, teammate to Steve Hodges this weekend. And the last 4 cars on the grid have all been moved there because of weigh scale infringements from qualifying. So they've got a lot of work to do. Green flag at the back, round 2 of the V8 Utes Series. Ford and Holden on the front row of the grid. And it's Jack Elsgood in the rebuilt Cooper's Falcon who has the run to turn 1.
Great start by Elsgood. He's up and running, and that's going to make his day a lot better.
In car with Leighton Cranbrook, Ryle Harris in front, Grant Johnson, the championship leader and the defending champ around the outside. It's getting tight into 2.
They're already into each other. That's going to be a little bit ugly, especially if you're 3 wide.
Oh, Grant Johnson's off through the scenery. Oh, they've gone nuts behind. Ben Dunn, Nandy Kiss, Gary Baxter.
Always happens, doesn't it? Always happens.
In car with Kim Jane.
Kim's got a great run down the inside here. That's going to give him a bit of an advantage.
He's going to get up the inside of Steve Robertson in the Vanuatu land. Falcon, Andrew Fisher.
Keep it going, buddy. Nice save. That was a good bit of wheel work. Full lock and saved it.
He slots in now. Back into the field. But Elsgood clear up in front from Cranbrook and Colin Corkery. The Wollongong Performance team have done a great job to repair that car from Adelaide. What's your take there?
Well, he's just come down the inside now. Look, he didn't give him a great deal of room there. He was squeezing him. See, he's gone across. He's trying to protect his line. He's already in there. So he's squeezing, and something has to give.
Grant Johnson, innocent bystander there, and then a separate incident further back.
I think there was just a bit of road rage going on back there. I think you can call it just that.
In car with Glenn McNally. That's why.
Well, with the smoke and steam, your day is done.
Jack Elsgood will lead us away from the restart. So it's Ford, 1, 2 and 3 at Eastern Creek as Leighton Cranbrook tucks in now to the back of the number 11 machine, back on board with Kim Jane in the VE Commodore.
Cranbrook seems a bit racy. He looks like he wants to get past Elsgood and get on with it.
Turn 2, Colin Corkery, the young Kiwi driver, up the inside of Cranbrook.
I think Cranbrook's going to lose out there. He tried an outside pass into 1 on Elsgood and didn't come off. Left a hole.
Ryle Harris, the best of the Commodores, up the inside.
You notice with the Utes as well, they'll always be sideways. Obviously, being a Ute, they're very light in the tail end. Rear-wheel drive cars, obviously, and they'll skid around a lot. That's what makes them so spectacular to look at.
But as a car, let's not forget, They weigh some 500 odd kilos more than a V8 supercar, so they work the Yokohama tyre really hard.
Oh, they're very much still road car based, so even though they've got a roll cage in them, they are pretty safe. They're still a big, heavy car.
Looking back from Kim Jane at the recovering Grant Johnson. Wide on the exit of Corporate Hill, that's easy to do.
Not much traction on the green stuff, though, so we did well to collect it up.
This fight between Cranbrook and Harris continues. Some youngsters in the V8 Ute series, but that's letting Elsgood just edge away.
It's the same old deal, you know. If you start fighting amongst yourselves, you'll let the leader get away. So these guys have really got to sort themselves out a bit. Maybe concentrate on keeping with Elsgood. You know, just call it for a couple of laps, get back on his tail, and then sort of get back into the fight.
Elsgood is heading towards the pits with the leading car now. He's indicating to go to the pits, so he definitely was aiming to go there.
That's devastating for Jack, especially after all the hard work they have getting that car back on the road. He'll be absolutely shocked.
In car with Kim Jane, and we're just hearing from pit lane there's some form of an electrical problem with the Elsgood car, so that hands the lead to Leighton Cranbrook. Grant Johnson up the inside of Kim Jane, who was a bit wide on the run through turn one.
Yeah, you could hear Kim. He was coming through that sweeper and he's just on and off the throttle, had a bit of understeer and lost a posse.
Well, Colin Corkery does the same in the supercharged batteries Falcon, but the Cooper's crew working away on Jack Elsgood's Falcon. But here is one fight. Grant Johnson up the inside in the background as Ryle Harris now works to the outside of Cranbrook, who just gets a little bit wide.
These cars are all about keeping the flow in a corner. You've got to keep them flowing. If you get off the throttle too much and slow them up in the corner, you are going to get swallowed up. So you really got to keep the momentum going.
Ryle Harris now leading the way in race one, round two of the V8 Ute Series for 2008. Back at Eastern Creek with the V8 Utes, and Grant Johnson, after a run off the road a little bit earlier, is starting to make his way through. He's third and pressuring Leighton Cranbrook.
Grant's got a good race car here. You can see it's a lot more stable. He seems to be able to brake later into the corners and still hold the line. So he's definitely got the handling advantage.
The new VE, brand new to V8 Ute racing this season, the 6-litre V8 for Holden. Of course, there's still some of the older model VU Utes out there. Charlie Kovacs with a problem.
Charlie's been in this category just about since the inception, and he's one of the true characters, so it's a shame to see him go out.
Hearing from pit lane that he's got some sort of an engine drama. It's lost power. In car with Kim Jane out of the slipstream.
Oh, nice gear change. Picked it up right at the right time. Good toe. He's in there. He's just going to hold it through. Don't too much understeer. He's been having trouble with this corner. He always runs a bit wide. But he's nailed it this time.
But Corkery firing back up the inside at 2.
Oh, he's not having it. He's back in there. Bit of a rub up. Not too bad for a Ute race either. That was a pretty clean pass.
He's still got the mirror hanging off the side, though.
It's always a good start. He's got actually all his panels on there, which is very unusual.
Here's Johnson having another look at Leighton Cranbrook down at turn 4.
Yeah, I think Cranbrook's got his mirrors absolutely full. And he's going to actually get a bit of a workover, I reckon. Look out for a turn 9. I can see a bit of a lunge coming up here. I could just sense a bit of a setup.
Here's Charlie Kovacs' machine under the bonnet there, but Cranbrook second in the championship after a really solid opener at Adelaide, just behind Grant Johnson in the points.
Grant's been pretty good into this turn 9, so we'll see if he can pick up anything under brakes. He's lost a little bit going in. Nice and sideways. Good to see.
Ryle Harris, race leader. Little lock up there from Cranbrook, so really under pressure.
Here we go. He's got a beautiful line going out. Should get a good amount of speed coming off that turn. You can see we'll be picking him right up.
They've managed to edge away from Colin Corkery and Kim Jane, who are 4th and 5th, but this would be a great chance for Cranbrook to claim a couple of points back on the Western Australian.
This is where Johnson's got to really concentrate. Seems to be struggling a bit coming out of the last turn onto the straight, and it's so important for your top speed. Just seems to struggle a little bit, so obviously hasn't got it quite right there.
Tucked up on the run down the main straight. Kim Jane has to do the move again this lap, but Corkery is holding to the left of the road, so Kim goes the outside.
Tell you what, Kim Singh's got a bit of grunt in a straight line and going it quite nice, but he just can't get through this turn. He's had to let go a few times.
Johnson attacking into 2.
Got him. Nice move. Lane can't do much about that one. He's got the inside absolutely covered. Johnson's picked up another spot. Now he's going to go after the leader.
The exit of turn 2, they've managed to really clear away. It's a long championship, and every point is going to count because Grant Johnson took the championship in the last race at Phillip Island last year. But it's Holden 1-2 at the moment. The older model Commodore leading the new Commodore, and then the BF Falcon.
I think we're going to see a bit of a challenge before too long as well. I reckon he's got enough in it, especially this last half of the circuit. He's pretty quick. If he can get his act together, going into the hairpin at 9, might have half a sniff.
Last lap of race 1 in round 2 of the championship. Ryle Harris up in front. The youngster from Queensland has had a great race. Johnson covering turn 9. That's important.
Yeah, he's looks like he might be settling for second, thinking, well, it's better to start here for the next race and cover Leighton off. So looks like he's going to settle for the second position.
It's back in the pack there. Andrew Fisher and Scott Jennings. So the Jesus car versus the bad boy back machine. That's a bit of an odd mix.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone.
Scott was going to have Dennis Rodman here this weekend, but probably just as well and just as safe that he didn't. Ryle Harris is going to bring it home to the checkered flag. He hasn't won since Indy in 2005, so he gets to the line and gets his first win in 3 years in V8 Ute racing. A great drive. He kept clean of all of the drama. We'll check out all the results after the break. Back at Eastern Creek with the V8 Utes, and Ryle Harris has broken through to win race 1.
Start was hectic. I was flat spotted 2 front tyres, so I thought the race would be over. I was just going to try and stay where I was. I think we had the pace to take Jack if he was out there. We weren't far behind him in qualifying.
Let's take a look at the way they finished. Ryle Harris and Grant Johnson, 1-2 for Holden. Craig Dontis, a great way to bounce back in the Roaring Lion Falcon. He finishes in the top 10.
Definitely, I think Grant Johnson deserves a tick as the driver of the race. Definitely put in a good show.
No such luck, though, for the man they call the Hustler.
Well, I could during qualifying, obviously qualified on pole. Got away to a good start, but then an electrical problem basically just stopped the car, so had to pull it in and park it for race 1, which was going to put me to the rear of grid for number 2.
But I guess if there's one positive thing, it's straight.
Well, that's the only upside, really. Very disappointed to finish or actually not even to finish, but at least I've got the car in one piece after the last round. Basically had to replace everything except for the roof and the tray.
What about the hit on the wallet, though?
Mate, I'm trying not to think about that, and I was doing a pretty good job until you mentioned that. But yeah, no, it's costly. It's in the tens of thousands, so very unfortunate, but that's what happens when you've got an imbecile in front of you.
Well, it's one thing to completely rebuild your V8 Ute for Eastern Creek, but in the case of some of the other teams, they've had to beg, steal, and even borrow.
Justin, I'm not too sure whether you're just brave or silly here. You've lent another racing driver your car.
I don't know about lent. We're a team, and Craig and I get on pretty well, and yeah, I thought it was the right thing to do, and obviously he's third in the championship. We've got Roaring Lion this year, so I think it's a great move.
Justin's been great. I mean, to have one of our teammates give us a car after the carnage at Clipsal, it's always a nice gesture, and obviously it shows we've got a great team unit behind us.
What about the deal, though? You've got to give it back at some stage, don't you?
I don't know. I don't think I will. No, we're definitely building a new car, so depending on how we run in this car, Justin may be the lucky candidate for the brand new car.
Well, he wants me to take the new car, but this is the baby of the team, and we'll work that out when the time comes. Obviously, it's going to be maybe 8 weeks till we have the new car ready, so we'll work it out when the time comes.
Race 2, as always, we mix it up. The top 16 is inverted, so Michael Barch, a rookie, goes to pole position. Here's some pressure.
Don't you reckon he'll be a little bit nervous? Always when you're on the front row for the first time, you are dead set, very scared.
Now, a bit of a change. Grant Johnson starting from 9th. He was penalised in race 1 for contact with Andrew Fisher.
Bit of a tough call for Grant. I thought he did a good job, but it's the way it goes.
Matt Lockwood, the Kiwi, from 17th. Gary McDonald worked his way through from a back-of-grid start all the way through the order. Ben Cavic had a penalty in race 1, and George Mediki can't take a trick this weekend, a retirement from the first race. Wayne Lamont didn't even get to start after a problem with the CV joint in his brand new VE Commodore. So a full field of 31. Set for race 2, Michael Barch, the former Aussie race cars driver. His second round in a V8 Ute, and he's been left on the grid.
Michael's blown it. Come on, mate. He had his big chance, but just didn't even really get off the line. Looks like he rode the clutch a bit too much and lost out.
Gary Baxter sweeps through to take the lead. Down through turn 1, Craig Dontis around the outside, which is brave stuff because it leaves you high and dry potentially for turn 2.
Especially at the start when everyone's bunched up. You've got to be careful you don't go too wide. Or late break too late.
Oh, look out. Oh, that's Ryle Harris. Grant Johnson's involved. Carnage at turn 2.
Ryle will be fuming about that because he was definitely a front runner.
The sin-in car, Jack Ellsgood was involved again.
Jack can't win a trick, can he? I can't believe his bad luck.
Look at the damage to Ryle Harris's Commodore.
He will not be happy about that. Had a real good shot this weekend, and that's gone out the door.
It's just the danger of the reverse grid race. Let's have a look at it again. He's just squeezed onto the grass.
Yeah, just locked up on the grass. And once you hit that green stuff, there is no coming back.
It was almost like 10-pin bowling, but with Utes.
Exactly the same thing actually happened at race 1. It's just no one can get that first turn right.
In car with Kim Jane, and he just couldn't turn left.
He's just locked the left front. Straight in, and once you... No, there's just no recovery. You're just a passenger after you get on the grass.
He was alongside Steve Robertson in the braking zone for turn 2. And the world went crazy.
Doing a bit of circle work in the unit there, so must come from the outback.
This is in car with Andrew Fisher.
Watch it come through. Bang.
It's the easiest way that he'll pick up 7 spots.
Well,
Grant Johnson.
Local Ford and Whole dealers are going to be selling a few panels on Monday, I think.
You can see the damage to the left front of that car. So let's restart race 2. Gary Baxter will lead us away. George Elliott in second spot. And it's all Holdens at the front.
Got a little bit of a breakaway, but pretty even start. You know, behind the post car, rolling starts are pretty hard to get right.
Gary Baxter bouncing back after all sorts of dramas this weekend. Some really bad understeer in practice. Qualified 20th, the worst he's ever qualified. Here's a move from Colin Corkery, though. He's
going to have another go down the inside. I think everyone's a bit wary now. They're leaving a bit of a gap, just waiting for the bit of the thump and crunch that goes along with it. Here we go on the dirt again.
George Elliott got muscled there by Gary McDonald, then gets another bump.
How's the wheel work there? Plenty of wheel work. As soon as you get hit.
Oh, 3 wide.
Unbelievable.
Craig Dontis in a borrowed car.
These boys love it, don't they? They just love it.
George.
Beautiful sideways action. I love it. Just keep the gas in and keep it going.
Oh, George Elliott's hung out to dry here, though. The 2 young Ford guns, Craig Dontis and Colin Corkery, are through. Here comes the rest of them lining up for him.
They're still too wide. Smoke. Where there's smoke, there's action.
In car with Leighton Cranbrook, the sin-in board. And he's fighting his way through from right in the middle of the pack. Don't forget, this is a reverse grid race. The top 16 have been inverted. And it's all about patience.
Absolutely, especially with the action that's going on. Like, if you use your brain a little bit, just cruise a little bit for the first few laps, you'll probably pick up 8 cars because there's so much going on.
In car with Jack Ellsgood.
Remember, these Utes have still got a row car-based gearbox, so you've got to be a little bit careful with the gears on the up change and the down change, otherwise you can really destroy them. Listen to him, just get back on the throttle, just squeezing it on. Done a nice job and got a good run out. You watch his speed now. Perfect. Give him a wave, and down he goes. That was a really good run onto the straight.
And Kim Jane has to give up turn 1. In car with George Mediki, the Lubramax Ford.
I'm not sure whether you want to be on the outside here, I can tell you.
Andrew Fisher and Steve Robertson there. Gary Baxter still leading the way at Eastern Creek in race 2. Round 2 of the V8 Utes. The elbows have certainly been out. action in the Yokohama V8 Utes series at Eastern Creek in car. The Pex Berkeley onboard camera with George Mediki up the inside of Andrew Fisher towards turn 1.
Mediki's making a bit of a run here. He's been coming through the field quite nicely.
Started way back, position 26, and is well and truly now inside the top 10.
That's a really good effort considering how much has been going on.
In car with Leighton Cranbrook, Robinson locks up the Yokohamas at turn 2.
He actually locked a right front, then he locked a left front, so he had both fronts absolutely smoked.
He's wearing them evenly.
He's on it.
George Elliott's
He's had a bit of a touch-up.
Pillar to post. He's off the road.
Gone.
Looks like a standard V8 Ute race.
Absolutely. Panels hanging off, bars hanging off.
The exit of 4 into turn 5. George Mediki, the son of former touring car driver Andrew, who is the driving standards observer for the Yokohama V8 Ute series. In his second season was Rookie of the Year runner-up last year to Andrew Fisher, who he's just got by.
Now you watch with these Utes as well. We're going to see a bit of a replay. Just got a little bit out of shape. Oh, it wasn't actually really his fault. He just got a bit out of shape going in. Oh, no, he did get a touch-up.
Well, it was very light.
He won't like that.
Here's Matt Lockwood, the Kiwi. Wayne Lamont in the brand new Lamont Constructions VE Commodore.
Nice looking car. You'll notice with these Utes as well, as soon as they get a few laps on the tyres start to get a little bit squeezy and you'll see them moving around a hell of a lot more.
Turn 9, Cranbrook making the move on Craig
big
Douglas.
understeer.
Back up front. And it's Giannis Derhams in the Kanga Lotus machine that has taken the lead from Gary Baxter. Jack Elsgood firing back through the field, started way back, position 27.
Look at that.
This.
Look at that, 3 cars on the outside. That is a great move. See, he's on the gas, feathering it. Great move, fantastic.
Runner-up for the last 3 years in the Yokohama V8 Ute Series. Desperately wants to get that first championship. The way he's going here, he's attacking another one.
Look at that, that's perfect. He has got this thing nailed.
Arguing over turn 5 with Steve Robinson, right around the outside.
He's actually handling very well too. He's got the setup nice on it, apart from driving it well as well. To go too wide around there is phenomenal.
Steve Robinson's car this year being run by Howard Racing, who are very, very busy with their Fujitsu V8 Supercar program and also 2 cars in the Formula Ford Championship. But Elsgood is going to go the long way and get the job done.
He's got it because he's got it right for the hairpin now. He's right on the right side of the track. Just don't go too wide, Jack. That's it. You're in there, mate. Good job.
Tyres going away just a little.
And the bad boy's back. He's into it as well.
Scott Jennings in the last drive of this Ute before he updates to the new VE Commodore. So I dare say keeping all of the panels straight won't be too much of a concern.
I tell you what, there's a bit going on here at the moment too. I think there's a bit of feeling amongst these 4 drivers. So they've been laying into each other the whole race. I think Elsgood's pretty happy that he got out of that pack.
Charlie Kovacs is in among there too. He started down near the back with Elsgood from position 25, but the V8 Ute races have really shown if you use your head, you can work your way through even in a short race.
Absolutely, I think Jack's proved that for sure.
Here's Gary Baxter defending, Cranbrook attacking.
He's going to have a run around the outside. Jeez, he'd be lucky to stick this, I tell you, but there you go. Did. Great move. If he can hold it there, there's a series of right-handers coming out now, and it should be pretty right.
On board with George Mediki. It's been a real race for the Chargers. Mediki started 26th. Cranbrook, the race 1 runner-up, started from 14th or 15th at the end after Grant Johnson's penalty.
Love the last laps too. Last laps is where they all really let it hang out. But Mediki did a great job there.
This is important for Cranbrook because, of course, race 3's grid is an aggregate of the first 2 races, and this will set him absolutely perfectly for pole. But Giannis Derhams clear on this last lap.
Get ready for the hairpin though. Should be interested to see these guys want to actually have a go or just live for the next race. Oh, they're all taking it pretty easy. I think they're using their heads a bit now. We're in a good position, so they're thinking, right, let's just stay here, get a good position for the final race.
If only some of them thought that on lap 1.
Good luck with that.
Giannis Derham's clear in the Kangaloters Holden. His teammate Gary McDonald took a race win in the first round at Adelaide. And look at Mediki, couple of corners to go. He's not going to give this one up.
If he gets a good run out there, I don't know whether he'd have to get a very good run to try and get him over the line. No, he's got it covered.
Giannis Derham's, though, they call him Excalibur. He's put the sword to them today. The Commodore for the Kangaloters team takes race 2 in round 2 of the Yokohama V8 Utes. Cranbrook home in second spot. Mediki is third. So the Ford drivers, they had to come from the clouds in that one.
Well, they definitely, the GMH has had it over him in this race anyway.
Warren Millett, a great run to 5th. Jack Elsgood flew through the field to finish in 7th. Scott Jennings and Steve Robinson rounded out the top 10. And Charlie Kovacs, another of the big movers, he finishes in 11th. But for Grant Johnson, the championship leader is still trying to figure out what happened at turn 2.
I'm not really sure. We haven't seen any vision yet, and I think from where I was sitting, I felt I got a bit of a tap going into the braking zone, which unsettled the car, and the VEs are very touchy on the brakes anyway, so I think I was a bit of a passenger after that.
Giannis Derham stayed clear. He took the win.
I was very, very fortunate. I saw a lot of shenanigans going on my rear vision mirror, and I thought, oh, I'm glad I missed out on all of that for a change. And well, there's a little bit of trouble with George Elliott in one of the turns, but we both managed to sort that out one way or another and carry on to the finish.
There's 4 new faces on the grid at Eastern Creek, and 3 of those are in contention for Rookie of the Year. And it's a prize worth fighting for because this year, the winner receives a V8 Supercar test, courtesy of Racer Industries.
Well, Charlie and I saw it as a great opportunity to get in onto the scene in a big-time way with the V8 Supercars and following around with all the good circuits, and we want to do it the right way, and we chose the V8 Utes.
Well, I did the Formula Ford series for 4 years back in Papagala and Perth, so it was really come away and try a few different tracks and have some fun.
Michael, how different are these to Aussie racing cars?
There's not too many similarities between these and them, because the Aussie car was about 450 kilos and this is 1,800 kilos, so it's a massive difference.
We think that the V8 Ute category is a fantastic racing category. We're looking to try and get some young blokes out of this category and train them up and give them the experience they need so they can progress further into other categories.
Rookie of the Year would really fit nice with me this year, and that's one goal I've set myself this year. And I suppose the V8 Supercar is just a prize at the end of the year.
Yeah, it certainly comes as a good bonus, and if I'm lucky enough, it'll be good fun.
I didn't actually know that was what happens, but yeah, well, that'll be pretty good to get that.
Well, Matt Lockwood, you're not in contention for the Rookie of the Year title, but you are a rookie here at Eastern Creek. Not many laps in a V8 Ute for you.
No, I've only done about 8 so far. Really enjoying it, so hopefully I can get faster and faster and improve and get those lap times down a bit.
The cars on the track for the decider. Race 3 in round 2 of the Yokohama V8 Ute Series, and our 2 race winners from so far, Leighton Cranbrook and Giannis Derham's on the front row.
Well, it should be quite good. Those 2 drivers have been the class of the field so far, so it's going to be a great race.
Roll Harris from position 11. George Mediki moved all the way through in the last one. He starts from 14th. Elsgood and Johnson, the top 2 in last year's championship, are buried in the mid-pack.
Absolutely. Expect some fireworks from them. I reckon they'll have it down. Really will get their way through the field pretty quick, I reckon.
Glenn McNally from 28th. Reece Hansford will not start this race. He had an injury in the last race and hasn't been cleared to drive. So the field getting ready for this last race. Ford and Holden front row. 2 Fords on the second row with Colin Corkery and Steve Robinson, but it's a pretty even start. But on the run to second and third gear, it's Cranbrook with the jump.
Should be interesting to see whether they're going to make it into turn 2 without any, shall we say, crash and bash.
Well, we've had 2 that we didn't. We've got 1 left to have a go at it. Let's see what they can do.
Oh, everyone's covering the inside this time, you notice. I think we're going to get around here okay. I can't believe it. Maybe not.
Just when you say things happen. Nandy Kiss. A small lock-up, though, off the road at 2. In car with Jack Elsgood.
Everyone's pretty well falling into line here. I think they've learnt after the first 2 races. Let's get the first lap over and done with, then we'll do some racing.
Here's Elsgood racing up the inside of Warren Millett in the wake-up Commodore. Warren's had a really good weekend, but he's really buried in the pack now.
Just a train of Utes. And I think Elsgood here, he'll be looking at that hairpin at turn 9. Expect a bit of a lunge either down the inside or outside.
He looked like he had nothing to lose in that last one. Michael Barge up the inside using a bit of the curb and the grass.
Those ripple strips are like running over 44-gallon drums. They're huge.
Turn 9. Andrew Fisher with a little bit of a brake lock up there.
That was good. I think I spotted him going down the inside. I think he's already picked up another couple.
This is Ryle Harrison, Andrew Fisher, who this year his Falcon being prepared by Wollongong Performance Racing. And Ryle Harris's car's had quite a beating. They've done a really good job to get that car back on track after the dramas in race 2.
We're talking about those ripple strips. You saw that in-car footage then of everything shaking, the window, the wheel. They're so huge, those strips, to try and keep you on the track and not off the side. They just shake everything off the car.
Here's Kim Jane challenging Craig Dondas into turn 1.
That's a good move, as long as he can hang on to it. Nicely done.
Now, they're vulnerable here to Scott Jennings, who's trying to fill the inside. Dontas is a wake-up and tries to cover the line, but he wasn't quite quick enough.
As soon as you go a bit deep there, see he's gone very wide. As soon as you see the outside of the track still very dirty, if you get too far out there, you'll just lose grip.
Oh, bit of a rub.
He tried to squeeze back over when there was still a nose in there. So, no, thank you, sir. I'll just stay here and you'll end up on the outside.
A fight of the energy drinks, the Bad Boy machine, the Roaring Lion machine, Holden versus Ford.
Still got to cover, even the inside of that corner you've got to cover pretty well, because half a sniff and someone will be down there.
Elsgood continuing that fight. Here's a Yokohama replay at turn 1. Charlie Kovacs.
Charlie likes us sideways, doesn't he? He doesn't mind getting a bit smoked up.
Well, it didn't work at the next corner, though.
But it looked good. Oh, how close was that?
Wayne Lamont was close. Ben Dunn follows him through in the Storage King Falcon, having his first run for the season. In fact, just his second drive in that car since midway through last year. But this man, Leighton Cranbrook, was patient in race 2 and pacey in race 3.
Absolutely. Nice big flame coming out of the exhaust on the down change. He's just keeping it straight. You look how he's driving clean, straight, keeping the corner speed up. That's what you have to do when you're leading a race. Just be smooth and consistent and you'll pull away.
Yana Sterham's under fire from Colin Corkery. This car completely rebuilt since its involvement in that crash at the Clipsal 500. A young Kiwi with plenty of pace, ran in the V8 Utes series last year, back for more in 2008, and looks like he's got some pace on the Kangaloota's car.
Absolutely, he's doing a great job, but I'm just listening to the throttle. You can hear the engines, and they're really tapping on the throttle on and off. It means their tyres are probably starting to get a little bit warm. It's a hot day out there today, so, you know, they're really struggling a little bit. And you'll notice they're driving the car more on the throttle than they are with the steering wheel.
Turn 8 there can be one where the front tyres are the ones that are really working, and then you have to get the balance right before the brake application.
For sure. You've got to remember they've still got a big, heavy V8 hanging over the nose of these cars, so they're very front heavy. So they will tend to understeer quite a bit going into the corners.
The field just keeps on coming through. There's Charlie Kovacs trying to make up for that mistake at turn 2. He'll get one back. The problem is, though, there's another 29 to get by.
He's got a big job ahead of him, old Charlie, but I'll tell you what, he's been around a long time. He knows how to get one of these Utes around a while.
Wayne Lamont, Leighton Cranbrook's teammate. Another of the brand new VE Commodores, but it's Leighton Cranbrook who leads the way in race 3 of the Yokohama V8 Utes at Eastern Creek. Back at Eastern Creek Raceway, it's getting wild and willing in the last race of the Yokohama V8 Utes, Russell Ingall.
Kim James decided to take a bit of excursion there. Not the fastest way onto the straight, Kim.
He and Steve Robinson were looking for other lines through turn 12. I'm not sure that they found one that was fast.
They've actually been going at it the whole race, these two. They've really been getting stuck in each other. Good racing, though. At least they haven't hit each other yet.
Whenever you say things happen. Let's have a look at the Yokohama replay of the exit of 12, and Kim didn't just use the curb or the artificial grass. He got the real grass too.
Just a bit eager to get on the gas there, and just the tyres said it, enough. I'm going in the dirt.
Corkery's got around Giannis Derham's in that fight for second spot. Here's Elsgood lunging. Fisher at 4.
Oh, Mirror folded in on both sides, thank you. That's how close they get.
You can see there now, that's going to make things hard for Fisher, because he's not going to know what's down his right-hand side unless he hears it or hits it.
I tell you what, you'd be surprised. Oh, look at this. Elsgood, nice, on the power. You're right, you do actually use your mirrors quite often here, and when you haven't got them, you just almost feel like you're a bit naked. You can't see what's going on around you, and more importantly, when someone has an attack on you into a corner as well. That mirror is folded right in, so no vision down the left-hand side.
The exit of turn 9. Here's the replay of the move.
Good move, good move. Maybe he just wanted to do his hair, have a look at the mirror, you know, and just make sure everything was okay. He's looking good, though. He's looking good.
Gave it a couple of rubs on the way through.
I tell you what, they're giving each other racing room, though. They're being fair about it as well. Like, he could have quite easily pushed him into the green stuff, but he kept it clean.
George Maniki, Steve Robinson, Jack Elsgood, Jennings and Fisher next through. Always a long weekend over the course of 3 races, so by this point of the weekend, the Yokohamas have done a fair bit of work.
Absolutely, and around this circuit as well, because there's such long flowing corners, they really punish the tyres. So by the time they get to the last race, it's hard work.
Is this a track that's hard physically, or more of a mental track?
It is, because there's a lot of G-forces on your body around here. Because of the fast turns, you're always leaning over, and you're sort of half propping yourself up with the steering wheel and the seat. And when you get a bit of sideways action like that as well, you're also working the wheels so hard, so definitely a physical track for sure.
Elsgood wide at 1, attacking at turn 2. Good fight here. Craig Dontas up the inside of Shannon Sidebottom.
There's great battles going all the way down the field. It's actually surprising to see the cars spread out so much, because you usually stay pretty close together in single file, but that's just the nature of the Eastern Creek circuit. You tend to get this where they've got individual packs fighting away.
Here's a good fight. Robinson's hanging on from Elsgood, who really looks like he's almost at the point of overdriving the car now.
Yeah, if you keep sliding the car, your tyres will go off and off quicker and quicker as well. Like, you've really got to still look after it. Be hard, but try and keep the car relatively straight anyway.
Through Corporate Hill. He's not close enough to the back of Robinson for turn 9.
Oh, locking and brakes. You notice that the cars will lock brakes more and more as well. That's actually the brake temperatures going up. Because they're leaning on them so hard, they're on a controlled brake, and they still punish them so hard around here that eventually you'll start getting a bit of brake fade.
This man isn't punishing the brakes, he's punishing the field. Leighton Cranbrook setting out now on his last lap. He's on target to take not just race 3, but the round. Colin Corkery in second spot. Giannis Derham's hanging on in third, and Kim Jane chasing them down in 4th.
Kim's done a good job this race. I think he's really drove hard, but he's catching the leaders, you know. Don't be surprised if he might pick up another position yet.
Here's Fisher and Jennings, the Jesus Machine and the Bad Boy. I still think that that's one of the great stories of this race.
The Jesus Machine looks like it's a little bit second-hand too, I've got to tell you. It looks like he's had a bit of a rough race.
The last lap at Eastern Creek, the DBA in-car. There's nothing angelic about that here.
No, I'll tell you what, he's letting him know he's there, spreading the word.
Hallelujah, brother. This one's not over yet.
No, Elsgood's hanging in there, isn't he? Look, he's really good. Inside, outside, whatever it takes, he's there.
Oh, he's not there. He's in the dirty stuff at turn 4. You can see the wheel movement of that gradual slide as the race gets on.
Just plenty. These guys work so hard in these cars, I can tell you.
on the run home at Eastern Creek in round 2 of the Yokohama V8 Utes Series. It's going to be another long year as the Utes support the V8 Supercar Series. A great fight here all race. Elsgood is desperately trying to claw back championship points after a retirement while leading in race 1. But no one can touch this man.
No, he's gone. He's gone. Fantastic race. Smooth, consistent, done the job.
Leighton Cranbrook firing it up off turn 12.
And having a bit of fun too on the rev limiter.
When you're in the lead, you can have some fun. He's going to win race 3 of the Yokohama V8 Utes Series at Eastern Creek. And that's good enough to clinch the round and the championship lead.
I'll tell you what, he'll be very happy with that. And he's going to be hard to beat this year.
Jack Elsgood gets by Steve Robinson and hangs on to take position 6.
Good drive by Jack. Good comeback.
So Cranbrook wins, fastest lap of the race, clear of Colin Corkery. A great run. Scott Jennings in 8th and Gary Baxter works his way through into the top 10. Ben Cavic rounding out the top 20. We'll wrap it up after the break. Back at Eastern Creek Raceway, round 2 of the Yokohama V8 Utes has been big. Leighton Cranbrook takes the round win, clear of Giannis Sterums and Colin Corkery.
There's been a fair bit happening out there this weekend, but you managed to steer clear of most of the trouble.
Yeah, there was accidents going on everywhere, and whoever survived all the accidents was able to come through for the victory, and that was us.
And it's good enough to put Leighton Cranbrook in the lead of the championship. Colin Corkery, Craig Dontis and Kim Jane all on 129 points in 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Wayne Lamont picks up the Sonax Best Presented Car Award for this weekend's 2nd round of the series. He looks just a little bit happy about it too, don't you think? Glenn McNally leads the way in the Racer Industries Rookie of the Year Award. A V8 Supercar test at the end of the season up for grabs. While George Badicki takes the Clutch Industries Whole Shot Award for his efforts in race 2. The V8 Utes are back on track for round 3. And the V8 Supercars head to Hamilton in New Zealand. On behalf of Russell Ingall, I'm Aaron Noonan. See you next time.